don't find that amusing.
It wasn't meant to amuse, but to prod you to hurry. It's midday already. You promised Ciri you'd train with her. Go before Vesemir bores her to death with those etchings.
So, later then.
See you later.
What it is, my 10-0, Peace and Grease here, and what can I say to a starting cutscene like that? Like what? I don't even know where to start. But yeah, this is The Witcher 3. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. You'll have to tell me. But this is bar none my absolute favorite game ever in the history of gaming. Now, that says a lot because anybody that knows me knows that before this game came out, my absolute favorite game was the Mass Effect trilogy. Not Andromeda, the trilogy. Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 were good. I played both Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 were good. I played them both on PC. This is the first time I'm playing Witcher on the PS4. And it blew me away. Witcher 3 is just incredible. If you're a fan of Elder Scrolls, if you're a fan of Dragon Age, you will probably adore The Witcher 3. It is magnificent, to say the least. It is a freaking masterpiece among gaming. Still to this day, my favorite. I'm starting a whole new playthrough. So I've played through it twice already. I played a fresh run, and then I played a New Game Plus, second playthrough. And this is my third playthrough, and I do have all the DLC. Now, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, Peace, you do Warframe content. Why are we seeing Witcher gameplay? Well, I guess you could say that I am so bored of waiting for the Jovian Concord. Now, PC did receive the Jovian Concord, and, I always say give it about a month between when PC gets an update and when we finally receive it on console. And needless to say, they just received it on PC. They're going to basically kind of quote-unquote beta test it. DE will put some patches in place to correct some of the shortcomings. And then it'll finally go to cert. And then whenever it clears that, we finally get it. So we've got about a month. We don't have the next Nightwave. Bottom line, I've played all of the content that already exists in Warframe multitude of times. And I'm just at that point now where if I don't take a break for a little bit, I'm going to burn out. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I've been playing Warframe for 5 years now. So, yeah, I needed a break. And I thought, you know what? It's been a couple years since I played Witcher 3. And I want to play through it again. So that's where I'm at here. Now, let me know in the comments below if you like seeing new types of content, new types of game, or if you just strictly want me to stick to Warframe. I am going to continue to make Warframe content. As I said, I played that game for 5 freaking years now. I'm not about to stop playing it at this point. So yeah. But bottom line, this is basically The Witcher 3. Now, as we go through this game, I'll try and give you a little bit of background information if you're not familiar with The Witcher. If you are familiar with The Witcher, just bear with me. Let me kind of set up exactly what's going on. So, all right, this is Witcher 3, and I'm sure somebody's going to ask, so let me clear the air right now. This is Yennefer over here, commonly referred to as Yen. Now, Yen is the quote-unquote bad girl of Witcher, and I understand that's a big draw for some people. The problem is once you get to an age where you actually dated bad girls, it's not very appealing. So for me, I'm not a huge fan of Triss, because I know somebody's going to ask, okay, Peace, wait, are you going to romance Triss, or are you going to romance Yen? Okay. My first playthrough, my fresh start of Witcher 3, when the game released, I actually romanced Triss. And then my new game plus, I romanced Yen. And so my third game, my playthrough here, my fresh start will be with Triss again. I am going to romance Triss. Now I know someone out there is going to say, no, Yen is canon. And I agree with you. In the books, Yen is canon. 100% I agree with you. However, in a game where your choices are pivotal, I don't think that there is anything canon, or else we wouldn't have choices. It's kind of like the Metro games, which are also a great series of games and a great series of books, by the way. So for me personally, there's nothing canon if we're having to make choices in it. In the books, yes, I agree it's canon, but in the game where we're making choices and decisions, there is no canon. Yennefer's fine. She's great. I'm just, in general, not a fan of the bad girl kind of stereotype. I'm just not. All right, it's kind of a turnoff for me in general. And we'll get into why I feel that way about Yennefer as we progress through the game. But let's kind of set up the game. What is a Witcher, and where are we? So in this game world, a Witcher is like these people that are kind of superhuman. They
Mountain Pass as beautiful as ever.
They actually are given to Witchers when they were children. They start their training. They go through the trials of grasses. Most children die, but those that do survive then go on to become Witchers with these special powers, these special abilities. And in Witcher 3, the Witchers in general are dying out. There's just not enough demand. As the people begin to continue to evolve in the Witcher world, their weapons become more powerful. Their armies become stronger. People begin to spread out and expand into the wilds and encounter monsters. And of course, with all these armies and these evolved weapons, Witchers just aren't as big of demand as they once were. So for this reason, they're dying out. There's no children coming in to increase the ranks of the Witchers. In fact, in Witcher 3, several Witcher schools they're gone. They're extinct now. Now, Geralt here, this is Geralt of Rivia, also known as the White Wolf. He is of the school of the Wolf. And there's school of the Bear and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's just not that many Witchers left. In fact, one of the old things, I think it was in the book, where it says, if somebody hires a Witcher and can't pay with gold, they use the line, walk through when you walk in your house, give me the first thing you see. And it's usually their child. Now, typically they want male children because female children don't survive the trial of the grasses. Most male children don't survive the trial of the grasses, but some male children do. And so they take children to repopulate the ranks of the Witchers and start training more, and so on and so forth. As we stand now with Geralt here, basically Witchers are nothing more than, for lack of a better term, a monster bounty hunter. Now the term monster is very kind of a blanket title, because they're in the Witcher world. There are good monsters, there are neutral monsters that just want to be left alone and live, and then there are bad monsters. Most of the time, most people in the game, most humans in the game of Witcher don't care. A monster is a monster is a monster, kill them all. That's their kind of belief. Now, as a Witcher, you get to choose. Do you kill every monster you encounter? Do you save some? Do you help some? That choice is up to you, and you have to live with the consequences of that. Now, in Witcher, Geralt actually gets Ciri, and you can just barely see her through the handrail down there training. And this is kind of a nightmare, but it also kind of sets up the characters. in The Witcher 3. Now, Ciri was given to Geralt as payment, and she is related to the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Now, Ciri is a pivotal player in The Witcher 3, okay, because she is an Elder Blood, which she means she has immense freaking power. In fact, she's OP in Witcher 3. She really is. And she kind of becomes this kind of adopted child for Geralt and Yennefer. Yennefer is very protective of Ciri and becomes like a mother figure. Geralt becomes a father figure. And so, yeah, these are the characters we're dealing with. Now, there are 4 Witchers left total in the School of the Wolf. And that is Geralt that we see here, Lambert, Eskel, and Vesemir, the old grizzled warrior who's a trainer. And basically he kind of trains all of the Witchers. And, he's getting on in age. Now, the reason that Witchers need children is once they go through the Trial of Grasses, they're infertile, so they can't have children of their own. Sorceresses in the game of Witcher, like Yennefer, are infertile as well, so they can't have children of their own. So that's why there's such a strong bond with Ciri. They're kind of adopted daughter. Now, Ciri, being an Elder Blood with all that immense power, I always kind of wondered, she has so many similarities. She looks like genetically she should be a child from Geralt. But I think, I've always wondered, because of her immense power being an Elder Blood, maybe it has something to do with she subconsciously started to, as she grows, begins to take on the appearance of Geralt. Because of the connection they have. But anyway, I digress. So hopefully you bear with me through that explanation, and we will kind of continue onward. Let me grab the stuff that's laying around here and get this done so that we can move on.
Lilac and gooseberries, of course.
Geralt, stop fingering my toiletries.
Oh, it is important for me to tell you that this game is not really kind of PG rated, so if you're a younger viewer, you probably ought to tune off, because this is not probably a video for you. But needless to say, that I did give you the warning.
Got any clothes that aren't black or white?
Undergarments.
Alright, I think I've got one more thing to grab.
Nothing but silver.
Gold clashes with my complexion. You should know that.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I get the juice bottle? No, I didn't. The pitcher?
You're running out of juice.
I know. You might bring me some more once you're done training.
See, I thought Ciri could stand to wait a little longer.
It's uninstructive. Not to mention unreasonable.
All right, what do we choose? Want to stay with you a little longer? Her being the quote-unquote bad girl, she'll probably tell you just to go to hell anyway. Let's be unreasonable. That may work on her. But since this playthrough, I already know I'm going to be romancing Ciri. I'm going to be romancing Triss. So I'm going to kind of avoid any kind of flirtations with Yennefer. Now, believe me, if you want to romance both Yennefer and Triss, go ahead. I don't recommend it. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but it's an option. Alright, so we're just going to agree.
Yeah, better go see Ciri.
Go and train with her, then come back. It'll give me a chance to put my face on.
Of all the women I've known, you're the only one who does that before.
You've known many.
What's it matter? Only ever thought of you.
Okay, so that really kind of brings me to my point. Yeah, Geralt has known a lot of women. In fact, there's kind of a meme, I believe it was in Witcher 2, where he's like, I'm looking for wars. So yeah, but you know what? Yennefer is not innocent. She has been around the block a time or two, probably just as many as Geralt has. So she really has no room to question that. In fact, that's one of the problems that I have with Yennefer. She has this kind of uppity, pretentious type of attitude, like she's doesn't do anything wrong or she's perfect. That's how she seems to portray herself, and that's a big turnoff for me. In fact, I believe there's a story in one of the Witcher books where, I'll say it this way: Yennefer and Geralt's relationship is tumultuous, to say the least. Lots of drama. They get together, then they break up, then they split up, and then they get back together again, and then they fight, and they break up, and they split up, and over and over and over again. So it's just drama-filled. Well, at one point, Geralt went back to get Yennefer yet again, and she was with a new guy, a new man. And basically, Geralt says, well, you need to choose me or him. And basically, she told them both go to hell. She's like, don't make me choose. And she told them, both to skedaddle. Now, the reason, some people will tell you why Yennefer's so standoffish and pretentious with Geralt and why she's so mean, because that's what she is. She's just mean to Geralt, is because at one point, Geralt made a wish with a djinn, which is a genie, for them to be together. So some people will tell you that it's because Yennefer isn't sure whether or not they're together because of that last wish, or if it's because of actual, their connection, quote unquote love. But that's some of my problems with Yennefer. My other problem is that at one point, basically, the Wild Hunt, which you kind of see a glimpse of the Wild Hunt, but they're this mythological group, which you'll basically find out more about as we progress through this game. Suffice it to say, the Wild Hunt wanted Yennefer. Geralt sacrificed himself and joined the Wild Hunt to save Yennefer, and Yennefer runs off. She doesn't try to save him. She doesn't try to help him escape. Nothing. She just saves her own skin and gets the hell out of there. Needless to say, their stepdaughter, their adopted daughter, Ciri, actually is trying to get Geralt out of the Wild Hunt, and she succeeds. But in doing so, it makes Geralt lose his memory, and he encounters Triss. Now, Triss is kind of a big sister to Ciri, and a straight kind of sister to Yennefer. Well, Triss has always desired Geralt, so Triss hooks up with Geralt. But Triss doesn't tell Geralt about Yennefer. Yeah, really, really crappy move. So a lot of people don't like Triss for that. But in my opinion, if we're going on just strikes, 1, 2, and 3, Yennefer has far more strikes against her than Triss does. Now, some people will defend Yennefer and say, well, it's because Yennefer didn't know Geralt was with the Wild Hunt. Bullshit. Even if she didn't know, why didn't she at least try to track him down wherever? If she didn't think he was with the Wild Hunt, she still should have tried to track him down. But she didn't. She went on her merry little way. Not to mention, at one point, she destroys an entire town trying to control a djinn. So she's very much about what she wants, what she needs, and kind of screw everybody else type of mentality. That typical kind of bad girl mentality. And that's why I'm not particularly fond of Yennefer. But if you're a fan of Yennefer, fine. I'm not saying that you're bad for, being fond of Yennefer. I'm just saying, me personally, don't like Yennefer. Okay? So I'll just say that, and we'll kind of leave it at that and go from there. So Ciri, by the way, is a badass. And as I've already said, she's a pivotal character in this game. And the player actually has to play Ciri there for a while. But while this is a nightmare for Geralt, it is a really good setup for the characters. Alright, so we'll watch this next few cutscenes.
Old Witcher's fast asleep. Ciri's disappeared somewhere, of course.
That's Vesemir in the chair, by the way.
Guess she prefers practice to theory.
What?
Time to wake up, Master. These lessons so boring they put you to sleep too?
Damn it. After taking notes on ghouls and owl ghouls, wanted to rest my eyes a bit.
Making her slog through that brick? No wonder she took off.
John of Bruges lacks flair, true, but he's reliable. Not like the hogwash they print nowadays. She's tackling the pendulums, right? How many times do I have to tell her? Don't train alone. It only embeds your errors. Bring our young damsel to the lower courtyard. She wants to practice, she'll get to practice.
We spoiled her. Don't get mad. This is coming from a father of a daughter myself, so I'm going to tell him not to get mad.
Don't get mad at her.
Why the hell not? The whippersnapper refuses to do as she's told.
You like that about her.
Fine. I suppose I'm partly to blame. But this has to end. Now. Killing monsters is not something to be taken lightly. Ciri must understand that, if she's to become one of us. I'll see you below.
Wrong. Now I see why you were so eager to practice. Strike.
Ciri's a badass.
You're not in this circus. Pirouette. Wrong. Footwork. Enough. Get down.
With a flip?
What do you think? All right. Take off the blindfold. You've got work to do. Your reflexes are still slow.
Maybe for a witcher.
Think drowners or striggers will go easy on you because you haven't undergone the mutations? Though in your shoes, I'd fear Vesemir more than any strigger. Disobeying his instructions? Unwise.
Well, yes, but that book was horribly dull.
I know. And you know that's no excuse.
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Apology not enough. That's kind of harsh. Or let's go better not.
Better not. Vesemir said if it does, he'll make you eat a bowl of slugs covered in salt.
You!
Exactly. So you'd best behave. Come on. We'll practice with the others down below.
Shall we run the walls?
Of course. Is a Witcher school or an elven bathhouse?
Beat you to the bottom.
Maybe if you fall.
Yeah, I could let her win. But as things go.
What did I tell you about breathing? Through your mouth, in rhythm with your steps. Ciri, cut it out.
The guy with the scarlet face is Eskel, and the other guy's Lambert.
Anything to say for yourself, young lady?
I'm very sorry, Uncle Vesemir.
Young blood craves action, I understand that. But when you fight a beast, knowledge counts as much as your silver sword. At the very least, you ought to be able to tell a ghoul from an owl ghoul.
By markings, like unto the Panthera tigris that in Zeracania dwells, and by the sickly paleness of its visage.
So you did read the chapter. Still, you should have asked if...
But you were asleep, Uncle Vesemir.
Won't weasel out of this. Again, that kind of seems harsh. I guess I'm a pushover as a dad goes. But, I don't know, I can't help it. Let's see. Could have said you did. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
So you did the reading. Why not admit it right off?
Never pounce on an advantage as soon as it appears. Wait till it stands to have maximum effect. Uncle Vesemir's words.
Well, you're a quick study. Quick, but mischievous. Fine, we've talked enough. Geralt, you're with me, Lambert with Eskel, Ciri with the dummy.
Again?
Stop groaning and grab a sword.
I'll probably spare you the combat
What do you
tutorial.
think? Should we start by reviewing the fundamentals or go right to free training?
If you decide to play Witcher 3 and you never have, the combat tutorial is pretty good. Yeah, we'll just skip the tutorial.
Let's skip straight to free training. No point going over the basics again.
I don't think you get any points for it, so...
Whoa! You really showed him, kid.
Ciri, get down here.
A little she-devil. Soon as she's back, we'll set her to polishing all the swords at Kaer Morhen.
Find that helmet? Ciri? I'll make sure to find every last blade for you. What the?
That's the Wild Hunt. Those badasses right there.
Aviana will take this, and then White Wolf.
No!
It was a nightmare, but it was a good setup for the characters. Obviously, if you played Witcher 1 or 2, you're already familiar with a lot of these characters. So I'm letting a lot of these play for you all's benefit.
You all right?
Had a nightmare.
About?
Take forever to explain.
Dawn's some way off. We've got time.
I think there's a little bit of information in here.
Started in the guest room at Kaer Morhen. I was relaxing in the tub, and next to me,
Triss?
Yennefer. Funny, isn't it? She's never been there. Seemed so real in my dream, though.
Was she nagging you about something? True to life, indeed. We'll find her.
I know we will. That's not what worries me. You've seen her tracks. She's at full gallop all the time. Breakneck speed through wildlands, devastated battlefields. She's in a hurry to get somewhere. Or fleeing something. Either way, it means trouble of some sort.
Be surprised if she wasn't in trouble. She's always poked her nose in beehives. Courtly intrigues here, mages' conspiracies there. What do you expect?
Don't know. Guess I thought once we were finally reunited, things would be calm. At least for a while.
Calm? With Yennefer? Good luck.
In the dream, I went and found Ciri. Then we trained.
Those were the days. Little she-devil. I've trained kids who were faster, stronger, but none had her character. Didn't end well, did it? Your dream?
No. A wild hunt appeared, attacked Ciri. I couldn't move, stood there like a stump.
It was just a dream.
That's the problem. It was more. In the past, when Ciri'd appear in my dreams, something was wrong. She was in danger.
We taught her how to defend herself from anything, wraiths included.
Be dawning soon. Time to go.
Wait. Show me the letter from Yennefer. Might have overlooked some hint in there.
Didn't overlook anything. We were meant to meet in Willoughby. That's what she wrote. Meanwhile, one army or another burned the village to the ground. All we can do is follow her trail, so...
Stop talking for a minute and give me the letter. Ah, how about that? It does smell of lilac and gooseberries.
You were gonna read it, not sniff it.
We must meet. Soon. Willoughby near Vizima. Nothing else to guide us there. What's this postscript? I still have the unicorn?
Stuffed unicorn. Used it once or twice. In certain situations.
The things young folk get up to these days.
Back on topic. How's it look? How far behind Yennefer are we?
2 or 3 days. Trail's fresh. But it looks like it leads towards the main road. Could be muddled there. Wait, hear that?
I hear it. I smell it. Ghouls.
Armies pass, necrophages follow. Let's go before any more show up.
Alright. Well, I think what we'll do at this point is I may end the video here and then do start another video after I get past this, because I've got a lot of looting I have to do. And you need to understand, with this game, there is a ton of looting is required. You're going to have to loot everything you find. You're going to have to upgrade swords, you know, forge your own, as well as your armor. Find blueprints for special armor and swords. So there's a lot of loot required, and you're going to have to, you know, farm a lot of it. In fact, a little bit of advice. In this camp right here that you spawn in at the start of the game, if you go straight past this, behind this tree, because this is where you spawn, if you run straight back here, there's a little path, and if you keep going down here, you'll find a huge freaking battlefield, and in it will be nothing but just non-stop loot. If you go all the way out past this battlefield to the trees and go around this way, you'll find an absolute crap ton of loot. So just something for you to keep in mind if you're going to start playing Witcher 3. If you want a quick jump start on loot, yeah, come back here and go all the way, clear all of this land that you see. And believe me, there is a ton of it. So, but yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll end the video here, and then I'll start another video after I get all of this crap looted, because I don't think you really want to watch me looting everything. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Is this a game you want to see more of? Is it something that you think you'd enjoy? Let me know down in the comment section. If you hate it, tell me you hate it. But until next time, peace and grace.